Like, to me, that's the most important thing that the technology and what Google brings us, is it really turns us into a community. Either a community of learners, or a community of teachers, or just a broader community where we, like I said, doing field trips with somebody in Seattle, Washington, where we can just become this community together and learn together. And when you can turn your culture into that learning piece where everybody is collaborating and we have one platform to do it with, it changed everything, because we're not just, taking this from here and this from there and trying to shove it together. We're like, no, it's all in this nice centralized location. So that's been huge. I think it's allowed us to change our learning culture more than anything else we have in our building. Oh, it's fantastic. Really what it has allowed us to do is streamline. What used to be multiple copies, did so-and-so get this? Hey, there's a file somewhere with all this data, or there's a file somewhere and you can't find it, or you don't know if you gave it to the right person. It's just in this nice spot, and so we can get to it. So it really changed our ability to be able to even just discuss around a single child, or to discuss around anything we're dealing with at school, to have it in that spot. I mean, that's from children all the way to safety. I mean, we just have a spot where everything is, and we use shared folders, shared drives. I mean, we use a lot of shared things so that we know that everybody has what they need to be able to do their jobs. And we immediately know, hey, if somebody doesn't have it, then we can get it to them at home. We don't have to wait until Monday when we get to school. If somebody texts and says, hey, Lane, I don't have X, then I can be like, we didn't share that folder with you. And we don't have to wait. They can go ahead and access it even over the weekends, or even like during COVID, anytime they need to. So it's been fantastic for management. Great management piece.
Yes, so as an administrator, I use the Google Suite all the time. I grew up in an era of the Microsoft world, but definitely I think that Google is much more user-friendly. I'm much savvier with Google Sheets than I am with Excel. Even though they're similar, it really just is more user-friendly. And so with my staff, I send out surveys to get their input on different things that might be going on in the school and how they would like to see things done. We use it to send out surveys to our students to gather information, whether that's from which club they would like to choose to who's going to be the homecoming representative for this year. So it allows us to utilize those forms to gather information quickly. And then of course we can export those over to Sheets and then sort things super fast and efficiently to get groups made and information, desegregated as we need it.
So I have used Google for years, even before all of your fancy apps. I always like to do a get to know you slideshow. So they've always used Google Slides and tried to get creative with that so they can show me, and it's a project that I assign for them. They can use Google Slides, or I give them some other platforms if they want to get a little bit fancier with it. The good thing to me in the world of email and everything with the schools is it's really hard to send videos back and forth to teachers. So immediately now we have the option that as soon as I try to send something a little bit larger than what an email wants me to send, then it's going to drop it into Google Drive. And it's easy sharing, compatibility with other things like that. So the teachers love it because it is so, I can start something and then I can shoot it to the counselor and say, hey, I need you to finish this for me, and all I got to do is hit that share button. So it's so collaborative, which is great, which is what we need in the world of education, something that is streamlined, that everybody can use, that's universal. And so that to me has been the easiest part of it, because again, it used to be, using other platforms that we used in the past, let me print this off, you make some edits, let me have it back, then I'll go in and make the adjustments. But again, somebody else can just pick it up and add their creative spin on it, fix it up a little bit, add the information that they want to, and then everybody's got the updated version of it.
It saves from paper to professional development. Google makes a difference because I don't have to print something to share it with my faculty. It's right there at their fingertips digitally. I don't have to try to get into creating PDF documents that are going to fit in an email. I can share it through Drive. They can access it through their email, wherever. It also means that, just like I said before, where the meetings are concerned, I don't have to necessarily schedule a meeting. I don't have to pay for a sub. I don't have to deal with any of that. There's a lot of this stuff that can be done ahead of time, pushed out to the teachers. We can have a digital discussion, and then when we do finally meet about whatever it is we happen to be talking about, we've got a 30-minute meeting where we're really digging down into the grit of what we're talking about, rather than trying to spend a whole lot of time front-loading information. There's so many different pieces to what we do every day, and it's almost like there's always a tool in the toolbox where Google's concerned that I can meet whatever need I happen to have at that particular moment. So there's always something there that lets me interact with my parents, touch base with my kids, push something out to my teachers, and it never goes away. The unlimited storage that Google gives to educators means that I can archive documents from years ago. And when that happens, and it happens all the time, and I go, you know what, we've done this before. I need this document. I can go back and find that document in my drive, pull that out, update it, and push it out again. And I have saved myself a ton of time sitting behind a desk, recreating a document, sending out a survey, whatever. It's there at my fingertips. And that's been game changing where being an administrator is concerned.
So one of the great things about Google Workspace for Education was the ability for us as administrators to conference with the schools, and that was huge, especially during the pandemic, but we're still doing some of that. We're able to conduct meetings and do virtual meetings. One of the things that we launched a new student information system over the last year, and it was huge to get those people in the school building, the enrollment clerks, secretaries, the attendance clerks, all together and use Google Meets to have those conversations, have those meetings. We actually started out to where we were doing 1 or 2 a week, and it was so beneficial. Now, the other part to that is they provided unlimited storage. At that time, that was huge because teachers take pictures, they do all sorts of documents. Now they've got this cloud-based storage. So if we come under a ransomware attack of some kind, they're going to, if the teacher has saved their documents in Google Drive, then all of those documents are there. If someone locks up a computer, our goal is basically we wipe the computer, put a new image on the computer, and then they log into their Google platform. All their documents are there. One of the key components moving to the Google was the ability to be having information in the cloud, secured in the cloud. And we use a lot of data. Google is FERPA and HIPAA compliant, and because of that, a lot of information is stored in the cloud, documents and so forth, and emails that teachers share, and that's critical to keeping that student information safe. So that was huge indicator to us that they knew what they were doing, that it was going to be a positive turn, that I don't have to bear all of that responsibility on ourselves. Taxpayers have an expectation, and they should, that when their students leave our schools, they can compete not only in the global world of work, but also competitively in the college market. If they plan to go to college, be prepared to do that. I want students to graduate and they choose. As a vocational teacher, I want them to be able to, if they want to choose to go into vocation and go straight into the workforce and learn in that workforce, I want that.